Mobbaton Theatre Festival. I came with the idea after my first experience at Talawa, where you have a theatre festival just geared towards young people's ideas, their thoughts, their creative input to what their culture is. And I didn't feel that we had a platform for young people. When I got to, it was amplified by the time I started to teach at Barbados Community College at the BCC Theatre Arts program, that you have this plethora of young talent graduating from both EBCCI and from BCC, and there's no platform for them to express themselves after they've gotten their degree, after they've done their thesis and their portfolio. That's it. They're looking for outlets to showcase what they have, and our theater scene, our theater family in Barbados is very small, and you see the same talent being recycled over and over again. When I was managing Yardie Boy Theatre, you saw it, because then when I gathered my friends together and I created a platform for them, you saw that other groups started to look and realize, okay, here are the young people that have talent, so they started to pull from the group. More and more I realized we needed a platform. We needed a stage for the graduates to say, okay, I have something that I want to show off, I have something that I want to say, and I want to put it on stage. So that's where the idea was birthed from.
I think something else that Mobbaton has is its accessibility. So we know we have the NIFCA Performing Arts stage, but that still feels, for some who are like fresh out of college or fresh out of university, they might be like, I want to do something a little bit more grassroots, or I want to do something that's a little bit more risque, and may not necessarily go over well with a traditional theatrical crowd. And so we deserve the spaces to explore that kind of content, but in order to deserve those spaces, we have to build those spaces, and I think that's what Mobbaton does.
Yeah, and in addition to that, what Luci just said, you don't really see graduates go to NIFCA, right? Because whether you like to believe it or not, there is a stark difference between what you've been taught in at UE and at BCC of what theater is, and when you travel and you see what it is. And when I mean travel, I don't necessarily mean the global north, but even regionally. So if you have the access or the funds to go overseas and see how theater is done there in our own Caribbean context, it really differs to what NIFCA is. And this is not a shade or put off at NIFCA, because there's a lot of great talent that does come out of NIFCA, but as Luci said, no, NIFCA is a family show. So even when we did the Yardie Boy Theatre and we were at NIFCA, we had some issues that we could not fully bring out what we wanted to. So we had to dial it back for the sake of the fact that we were entering into a family show. Mobbaton, that doesn't have to be there, right? That doesn't have to be there at all. So that is the platform that's created for that individual who doesn't think that they can get out of NIFCA what they can get at this particular platform.
The response has been overwhelming. We've had a lot of people who support the venture in the way, not only do they want to perform, but they also want to be a part of, they want to see it happen. We have a lot of variation to the kinds of performances we're having. The one person was brave enough and courageous enough to be like, we want to do a drag performance, drag cultural performance. It's gonna be amazing. We've got some talents that we know personally who I didn't even know were building stuff, that were then like, hey, this is the perfect place for me to showcase. And I guess that's what we wanted. Well, not even I guess, that is what we wanted.
That's what we wanted, yeah.
That is exactly what we wanted.
When we started to open up the link for people to sign up, I thought we were going to get a robust response to a lot of people signing up, and that's the reason why we kind of kept the registration to the wider theater community, all right? And that's why we decided to vet and to send to certain people, which ended up being well, our theater community is a lot bigger than we actually think it is, right? But what I realized is that And what I was going for was that we had more entries from people who I definitely wanted to participate, which would have been the graduates or the people who just came back from college and university overseas that wanted that stage. And I think by the time we put out the poster that the festival was happening and that workshops were happening, and then it's like boom, like everybody just like how can I help, where can I go, what can I do to support the festival and this forth. So now we have the first 3 days being workshops, acting workshops.
Everyone's been sharing it, everyone has been commenting, been very very kind and supportive. Almost, I guess that's what the theatrical and the artistic community is all about, especially in Barbados. We're very here for you, here for everybody, as I'm sure you guys have experienced with the magazine as well.
Minimal sponsorship sometimes comes out, right? Sometimes a lot of corporate Barbados may not want to give to the arts because Crop Over and other government entities tend to take up the scene. But I think it works in our favor that we're doing everything from the ground up, and nothing can tarnish what we've done to make the festival successful. Yeah, if you want to sign up to Mobbaton Theatre Festival, deadline has passed, but I think we could still give an exception. You can go to Mobbatontheatre@GineOn.com. You will be sent a link. Once you go on the link, the registration, you sign up. It is $20 for a group. So if you have a group, it's just $20 for registration. And if you're just a singular person who's coming to perform, and it's just $10.
And Mobbaton is spelled Mobbaton, theatre, the English way with the R before the E, at GineOn.com. And the show will be on...
Workshops are January 3rd, 4th, and 5th. The show is on January 7th.
Okay, so the workshops will be focusing on performance, we'll be focusing on acting techniques. We're probably looking at we will be looking at 3 different styles of techniques, of acting techniques. So we'll have community, we'll have absurd, and then we'll have realism/naturalism. And the absurd will be more physical theatre. So those are 3 very specific types, and yeah, that's what we'll be doing. And you'll be getting expert advice from the wonderful Levi King, not biased in any way.
Workshops are $20, and that's for all 3 days. It is $10 for students with ID, and that includes UE and BCC and secondary school students 16 years or older. Participants and BCC theatre arts students will be free, because we also, again, are promoting mentorship within the arts, and we'd like the BCC theatre arts students to be a part of the mentorship program between 4, because there are 4 members of the Mobbaton Theatre family, myself, Luci, Levi King, and Alicia Edwards, who are also 4 students, 4 alumni of the Barbados Community College Theatre Arts program.